All right, all right, all right. We're going to welcome you all to another wonderful Sunday of the Circle Maya at TNAT Holistic Wellness Center, where you can get all of your Pan-African needs. Anything from books to herbs. Diasporan Soul has amazing wings right now. I just gotta let it be known. This week, my kids and I, we came here and we had the mac and cheese and the wings, and we ordered seconds. I just wanted that to be known. And then downstairs there's a dojo. I'm just letting you know everything you need, from therapy upstairs to oils and shea butter, books and drums and culture. Come to TNAT Holistic Wellness Center. And on Sunday, specifically, come out to the Circle of Maya. So with no further ado, I'd like to be very thankful on this Sunday, because this is a week that we give thanks, and bring in the ancestors in a beautiful way with a drum call. I don't think I've introduced myself. My name is Njia, and this brother right here next to me is Njia Parish. We've been synergizing with these drums, by the way, and I just want to show some love and appreciation. You know, this is not rehearsed. It's all from the spirit. It's all spirit. It just comes up. So, with that said, if we can get this drum call going, bringing in the ancestors in a beautiful way. Ancestors around. I'm feeling the ancestors in the building and a place to be. I love the drum call. I gotta be honest. Welcome, ancestors. Welcome, ancestors. Walk with us. All right. Now that the ancestors are in the place to be, we like to honor these ancestors, give them reverence, show appreciation for all the struggle, heartache, trials and tribulation, the work that they put forward, the path that they've created for us to enjoy all the things that we acknowledge and take for granted. Brother Parrish, do you mind pouring some libations for the ancestors of the Middle Passage?
Absolutely. I like to start by reciting the oath of Njia. If y'all like to join me, if I know the oath.
With a we?
Yes. 1, 3.
We walk in Maya with balance, truth, and divine alignment. We rise with discipline. We heal with courage. We give our gifts to the community. Ancestors, walk with us. Spirit, rise in us. divine, guide us. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-o.
Let's start by calling out those ancestors who we honor, value, who gave their life and sacrifice in order for us to be here today.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.
Honor you today. Those that landed in the Caribbean, those that landed here in North America. We do not know your names, but we will never forget you.
Ashe.
We honor you today. And then those community ancestors, those that worked diligently to set forth liberation for the race. We lift up Ida B. Wells. We lift up Queen Nzinga. We lift up Dr. King, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X.
Ashe.
We lift up
Frederick
many,
Douglass.
yes, Ashe. We
Ashe.
lift them up. And then now
Dr.
we,
Enos Wilson.
Ashe. And Dr. Wilson, Dr. Ali Scalati.
Ashe.
We honor them.
Equiano.
We honor them. We honor them. And then we come to our family ancestors.
Ashe.
And if you like, call out the names of those who have gone to the other realm in acknowledgement from your father's house and your mother's house. We honor you. Raymond Beatty, Wilbur Beatty, Mike Beatty, Loretta Whitlock,
And Leonard White.
Jesse L.
Wesley
Jackson,
White.
Francis Wright,
Waverly Pauline Johnson.
Suzanne
Robbie
Toohey,
White.
Ashe.
Mary,
Ashe.
James Jackson,
Ashe.
Mamie Bird,
Ashe.
Avanatanda Jabu,
Ashe. Ashe.
Dorothy Rucker,
Ashe.
Anna B. Jackson,
Ashe.
James Jackson Sr.,
Ashe.
Mama California,
Ashe. Ashe.
Asanatu Kamara,
Ashe. Ashe.
and all those whose names we don't remember or whose names we have forgotten. We honor you and we bless you.
Ashe.
Ashe,
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe-o.
That was a wonderful libation ceremony. Mama Faluke, I always appreciate your libation ceremonies. Yes. I feel them in the building. I feel them. Okay. Want to take a moment and when we do the Njia oath, the daily oath, we say we give our gifts to the community. And I know that there are so many gifts in this place to be. You might think it's Christmas. I want to open the floor for anybody who might have some gifts that they'd like to bring to the community online, the general Baltimore community of Harper Grove, the TNAT.
Worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide.
Yeah.
Worldwide Pan-Africanism. To all the Pan-Africans worldwide. Would anybody have any gifts that they'd like to bring to the community?
All right, we're gonna let me see what we're gonna do.
May I introduce you?
Lord have mercy.
Please give me the honor of introducing you.
Go ahead. Yes, you do.
Us. So, the sensei in the building is that the right term, sensei? What term?
I'm a sensei in karate and a sifu in Tai Chi Chuan.
Okay. The sifu, the sensei, the bow staff master, the Tai Chi master, Baba Ausar.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna do some breathing exercise. I'm glad I'm not. You can't see my blushing right now. I'm still the same color. Let's see what we want to do. So it's winter time, so it's kidney time. So we can do something for the strength of the kidneys up. How about that?
Ashe,
All right.
ashe.
So kidneys is related to water, right? So we're gonna do some breathing exercises, and let me show you how we can. First thing we're gonna do is awaken the kidney. So we're gonna ball our fists up like this. You see that's not closed. You see that hole is open purposely. So you take that, go in the back. So you get up from the chair a little bit, slide up, and just tap lightly. Tap lightly, waking the kidneys up. So after you finish tapping, come around, rub your hands together. Yeah, get the friction in it, get the warmth in it. All right. Now I want you to hold your breath, put your hands back here, and imagine that energy of heat shoot through your kidney. Whenever you want it, ready, shoot it through. Got that? Rub them again. Hold your breath. Put the hands on the back of the kidneys again. Now shoot that energy through your kidneys. 3 times is a charm, so one more time. Hold your breath. Put your hands on the back. Shoot that energy through your kidneys. All right. The last one is the sound for the kidney. The sound for the kidney, they say it sounds like water bouncing off the shore when they come up and come back. I don't know if that it really sounds like that to me, but that's what they say. So it goes, whoochie, shui. Got that? Shui. All right, we're gonna do an easy one. You should say woochie churi. I know you did. Yes. We do this one. Chui. 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 All right, so I'm gonna show you how to do it, and then you can do it. All right, hold on a second. I need both hands though. So you rub back here, and you got meridians going all down here. You kidney meridian, bladder meridian, all that kind of stuff. And then you go. Got that?
All right, I think I got it.
All right. All right, let's do it again. Rub it.
I hope y'all doing this at home.
3 times is a charm.
Okay.
Last time. You're welcome. And this is the last thing that I always do is that put your arms around you, hug yourself, get a big hug to yourself. And I always say, if you can't learn how to love yourself, you'll never know how to love anybody else. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
I'm gonna stay here for an extra second. I feel like I needed a hug this morning and pat myself on the back too. Baba, so I appreciate that. Okay. Does anyone else have gifts they'd like to share with the community, locally and globally?
It can be a statement of affirmation. It can be a poem. It can be a testimony. It can be just about anything you want to offer affirmation. It says, please pray for H. Rap Brown, Jamil Abdullah Alaim. They said he only has 3 months to live. They will not give him medical attention. He is a political pioneer incarcerated on false charges. Ashe.
Ashe. We also appreciate the messages from the online community. It really ties in the internal and the external. So we welcome those messages, respectfully, of course. And thank you for your notes and thoughts and sharing. You know, I got some words of affirmation. Oh.
Hello.
May I introduce you?
Sure.
Okay. So, an educator from the New York area coming to Baltimore, an artist, a writer, Jasmine Bird.
Thank
for
you.
sharing.
As you were sharing the gifts that we bring in this space, I was reminded that it is a gift to be present with each other. It is a
Ashe.
gift to be seen by each other.
Ashe.
And it reminded me of a Zulu greeting that says Sawubona.
Mm-hmm.
Sawubona means I see you.
Mm.
And the response is Sikona, which means because you see me, I am here.
Mm.
As I'm looking at everybody in the room and thinking about this gift of our presence, this isn't something that I'm just offering to you all. It's something that I'm getting from you all, just being here with you. But I would love if we could just take an intentional moment to greet each other with the language and the intention of Sawubona and Sikona. So we can practice saying it, but I think it would be nice if we could just take a moment to walk around the room and look at each other, to bring each other into the space and to be seen by each other. So the first word is Sawubona. Can we all say it? Sawubona.
Sawubona.
And that means I see you. So let's say Sawubona.
Sawubona.
I see you.
I see you.
So as we move around, we'll look at somebody and say Sawubona. I see you. And the response, yes, there are multiple parts to this. The response
Sawubona.
then,
Sawubona. 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 And what's the response?
this response is Sikona. So we're already doing it, but I think
Okay.
we should actually get up.
Okay.
Yeah, to embody it a little bit more. But yes, the response is Sikona, which means because you see me, I am here. Let's all say that part. Because you see me, I am here.
Because you see me.
All right, can we take 2 minutes to see each other, greet each other?
Hey, look. Sawubona.
Double tap.
Thank you, Sister Jasmine. Look, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I realize that there's people in the room. I'm in the room I haven't said hi to. Ain't that crazy? I've been in the room the whole time.
You said you needed a hug.
And I got a couple. You know, I appreciate it. Everybody who gives hugs, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And to the online community. All right. Really, thank you. I got some gifts I'd like to share with the community.
Let me give a shout out real quick. Pardon if I say the name incorrect. Akwet Kabas Unk. Aket Kabas Unk. They have been chiming in for some weeks and giving super chats. We see you, appreciate you even in your debate online and the affirmation. Ashe?
Ashe. Yeah. Is a super chat a donation? We welcome the super chats. we welcome the gifts to the community. You know, welcome the super chats. Thank you very much.
You're funny. We welcome the super chats.
Yeah. You know, I'm a big fan of affirmation, and I'd like to try affirmation in the circle, that we all share different affirmations and go around and collectively put them together. And I'll start it off, and I'll just continue, and you guys jump in, and we can just kind of let it flow how it's gonna flow. I am strong. I am wise.
I am powerful. That's the same as I'm strong.
I am brilliant.
I'm calm.
I am ready.
I'm happy.
I am persistent.
I am black.
I am thankful. I am creative.
I am breathing.
I am breathing. I'm helpful. I'm worthy.
I am resilient.
I am resilient. I am purposeful. I am tenacious. I am
appreciative.
I am appreciative.
We are black.
We are black-tastic. That's the collective affirmation. I think that's a good one. Yeah. Super black-tastic. I love it. With the super chats.
Can I give another shout out?
Absolutely.
I think I'm gonna give a shout out to D.A.W for joining us today.
I
think she's a little shy. She's my
welcome to the community.
She was my Baltimore student at Boyd. So like 2 semesters ago or last semester? I can't remember. Last semester, and she's in another class. You mind me putting you on blast a little bit? Okay. So she's in another class. I think with Dr. Otis Williams. He actually reached out to me again. He was working behind the scene for you, D.A.W. Yeah. So I think she's gonna be writing something about. Are you gonna be writing up something? Okay, so y'all be in your best behavior, because we need to get all good stuff reported back to. I do the best that I can. We need all good reports to Dr. Otis Williams, because he's the chair of the department. No, but Dr. Otis Williams is a brilliant, great brother, very African-centered, and brings a lot of energy to the department. I think that's the reason why I'm even there. So yes.
Ashe. Ashe. Welcome to the circle. Welcome to the community. Okay. I have a song I'd like to share. And watching the news these days, I wanna rise in resilience, I should say. I want to be grateful for everything that I have, because there's a lot of turmoil and a lot of things happening, local and afar. And just want to be very thankful of that. And, I think songs of resilience and freedom help us push forward. So I'm going to do one of my favorites, redemption songs.
Oh, pirates, yes, they're robbers. Solar from the merchant ships. Minutes after they took her from the bottomless pits. But my hands were made strong by the hands of the Almighty to foster this generation triumphantly. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? Is all I ever had. Redemption song. unite ourselves, can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy. None of them can stop the time. How long shall it kill our prophets as we stand beside our Lord? Some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Oh, help me sing these songs of freedom. Is all I ever had. Redemption song, redemption song. Oh, pirates, yes, they're robbers. Stole life from the merchant ships. Minutes after they took her from the bottomless pits. But my hands were made strong by the hands of the Almighty to foster this generation triumphantly. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? It's all I've ever had. Redemption song, redemption song. These songs of freedom, these songs of freedom.
Ashe.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna ask before you. I know you about to do the whole ready. I see it.
You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
I saw
the
picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
absolutely. I feel the
you.
energy. Somebody asked if Mama Faluke can guide us in some thoughts and of affirmation prayer.
Let's collectively join our energy together in the most brilliant light you can envision. And we're coming together to send healing to Mumia Abu-Jamal, H. Rap Brown, and globally all political prisoners, and anyone else that has been wrongly imprisoned, who has been refused by the system to receive medical care.
Mm-hmm.
We ask the ancestors, those that fight on our behalf, those ancestors that have the ancient medicine, those ancestors that have wisdom to attend to the names and the people that are behind the bars now unjustly. We ask that our love for them would raise them beyond sickness, disease, depression, or oppression. We ask that our collective love for them would raise them up in such a place where they are evolving beyond measure. We lift them up today. We encircle them right now, wherever they are, with the love, with wisdom, and with healing virtue.
Ashe.
And we thank you, we thank you, we thank you, Divine Source, for attending. Asheo.
Asheo. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mama Faluke. So with no further ado, I'd like to open up the dialogue of the day by introducing the man who, in many regards, has put this together, made this happen. TNAT Holistic Wellness Center. Therapist, teacher, educator. And I appreciate you, I respect you, and I honor you. Dr. Ausar Winkler.
Let's see what Lo's cooking with over there. Let's see what Lo's cooking with over there. Let's see what he's doing.
He cooking with some seasoning. He said it's Thanksgiving around the corner.
I mean, DJ Sound for those who want to hire. But no, he's exclusive type of DJ, so he don't just do anything. He's got to be in alignment. Wow. I walk in my yacht of balance, truth, and divine alignment. I rise in discipline. I heal with courage. I give my gifts to the community. Ancestors, walk with me. Spirit, rise in me. And divine, guide me and us as we take this journey. As we take this journey of African spirituality, or African-centered spirituality, coming from the Book of Ptahhotep. I'm going to come from the Book of Ptahhotep out of Hosea. I just think I kind of like the way it's a little more like the New King James, what's it, NKV or something like that. It's like the translation just sits right for me. Okay. So, and all of y'all have it for the most part. But I'm going to go ahead and start by asking my elders, may I have permission to speak? Ashe, thank y'all. So again, I'm going to start off, but I'm not going to do any Njia interpretation with the grounding verse, I call it, because I think it's something for us to just kind of allow it to just meditate on internally. Because everything doesn't have to be done outside, nor can everything be done outside. But lots of times we try to not go inside so much. And that's where the work is. And I'm thinking about D.A.W, pardon, I didn't mention that she's in a master's program in clinical mental health counseling. And so that's the type of work that we're talking about. But it's not just that internal work just for the sake of you and you alone, as my dear sister opened up with the Zulu reading. And she said, in essence, that I am seen because you exist. So in other words, there'll be no me without you. I am, again, because we are. Ubuntu. So everything, there's an internal and external, and all things are connected. So let me get into the opening grounding verse that I won't go deep. I won't allow it just to resonate inside of you all. From the Hosea, the Book of Ptahhotep, page 41. It states, "Be not arrogant because of your knowledge. Take counsel with the ignorant as well as with the wise. For the limits of knowledge in any field have never been set, and no one has ever reached them. Wisdom is rarer than emeralds, and yet it is found among the women who gather at the grindstone." So today, I'm going to start off with verse 5 out of this particular chapter. And Mama Fluka looked like a good church lady over there. And you know how the old lady next to you get a hymn book because you can't sing the song, like, here you go, honey. They turn it to the page for you and everything. You're not gonna find what I'm saying in there though. But look, just don't, if you look hard enough, you might find something similar though. But this one it's going to say, it goes like this. It says, "If you are parents of worth and wisdom," again, if you are parents of worth and wisdom, train your children so that they will be pleasing to the divine. I said divine, they say God. I said divine as an Njia interpretation, because many times we limit our understanding of God to Eurocentric understanding. So again, so they will be pleasing to the divine. And if they do what is right, following your example, and handle your affairs as they should do, for them all that is good, for they are begotten of your own heart and soul. Therefore, separate not your heart from them, but if they fail to follow your course, oppose your will, reject all counsel, and set their mouth in motion with vile words. Then drive them away, for they are not your children and were not born for you. Yeah, I know this one is not, we're going to talk about this. Those who are guided do not go wrong, but those who willfully lose their way will not find a straight course. I went to the eyeglass place. I don't know what to call it. What is it like? You know, I went to American Best, and he said, "Well, you're 46. You know," he said, "You might at some point need to consider bifocal if you notice that your reading is starting to blur or something." And I'm noticing that a bit. You've been holding out, but nonetheless, let me say it again because I didn't like how it flowed, or maybe just how it's written. If you are a parent of worth and wisdom, train your children so that they will be pleasing to the divine. And if they do what is right, following your example, and handle your affairs as they should, do for them all that is good, for they are begotten of your own heart and soul. Therefore, separate not your heart from them, but if they fail to follow your course, oppose your will, reject all counsel, and set their mouth in motion with vile words. Then drive them away, for they are not your children and were not born for you. Those who are guided do not go wrong, but those who are willfully those who willfully lose their way will not find a straight course. All right, let's talk about that, y'all. What's coming up for you up in here? I've always looked at that particular. It is the same thing. It is in the book. If y'all found it, it talks more about it. It kind of genderizes it a bit, and it talks about your son. If y'all, did anyone find that? Yeah, I think that's probably it. Yeah. So, what y'all thinking?
I'm a little conflicted.
Well, let's conflict.
It's telling you, in one instance, it's telling you to All right, this is a lot better. All right, in one instance, it's telling you to have a heart for your child, but in another, it's telling you to disown them if they don't follow your way. And how can you still have a heart if you're also disowning them if they refuse? And then I know it's levels to it, but if you are disowning them because they refuse to follow your way, what if they found another way that's just as good, but it's not your way?
Let's talk, y'all. I got thoughts, but I want to hear y'all talk.
Well, I think it's kind of contrasting because it's talking about two modes of children: those that want to follow the path and those that are rebellious for whatever reason. And I know in ancient days, in certain cultures, if an adult child would stray from the customs of the people, they would take that person out in the desert and stone him to death. Why? Because they knew that once that energy circulated through the community, it was contagious. And we kind of see that in our community now. I just saw a piece where a pregnant mother was jumped by some students. I think it was middle school, something like that. And so my question is, how did they get like that? What kind of environment did they grow? What was going on while they were in the womb? What was happening? Or was the mother so open that other entities or energies could influence that child? So my contribution is it's making a distinct observation of a child that goes on the right path. I don't want to say right, but that which supports all of us, as opposed to a child that brings shame to a community. I'm complete.
You know, I'm trying to interpret this from an Njia perspective. And I know it sounds like an individual, but I want to think of it more like a collective. I work at a school for recidivism, and a lot of the students there are the forgotten students, the ones that didn't make it through other programs, got kicked out of school, went to, they call it baby bookings, and all of these alternative programs. And, they get another opportunity. And I'm also conflicted for a separate reason because, even after all the opportunities, you got to drag them through the process. But I don't know at what point, you could bring the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. You can, I say, like, it's not your fault, but it's your problem. It's up to the student to make the change, right? But then as a collective, you say, like, you got to have empathy because they were failed at some point, maybe by parents, maybe by family members, maybe by the community as a whole. In Chicago, that situation that you're mentioning, some of those kids would probably conceive the drill music. If you like conceptualize like the music, the culture, the environment that they're grown up in. And you know, I think also as I'm seeing this in this interpretation, it says the wise man. The wise man. I think in yours it said something slightly different, but like it's not just anyone who's raising a kid. It's like if you already have, and I'm interpreting, if you have the skills, the faculties, and integrity, you should raise them a certain way, and they'll be kind of favored in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But there are many people who they also are parents, and they were not reared. So, who starts the process? You know, we got to start somewhere. There's a couple things there.
What process?
Who
Breaking the cycle.
Who breaks the cycle?
What cycle?
So okay.
Disorder.
Hmm?
Disorder, negativity, anything that goes against the ultra.
But I think as you're reading it though, I think you said it wasn't a cycle. That's the beginning of the cycle.
I'm saying who starts the cycle then?
It's right there.
The wise man.
The wise man didn't start it. In fact, I think it's speaking to the opposite.
Okay.
I think it's saying not to allow one to start.
Not one start the cycle.
Not allowing if you are one of wisdom and worth, right? And let's say that is, we know we can debate that in this culture, what that is. But if you're one of wisdom and worth, I think we can measure that a bit, depending on our cultural code. And also just in general, I'm not saying people are perfect, but there are times, let me give you my Njia interpretation. My Njia interpretation is, not interpretation, a statement I always say. Try to understand the heart, because words are confusion or confusing. So what I'm saying here is try to understand the heart of the message. And I think y'all got something to say, but I do, in trying to understand the heart of the message, understand it clearly. Because I would argue that many of us struggle by becoming enablers of our children. And then that is when the cycle begins. Now, we're talking about parents who never been parented. They are those children as well, or they are the children of those children. Or so it is in our community, there are cycles going on that we have to consider. Now, if this was written, I'm not saying things are perfect, but lots of times we're looking at things in our cultural context, and we should interpret it for our cultural context. Mm-hmm. So that's Njia, right? The Njia interpretation would be, how does that apply, or does it apply to us today? Because it doesn't have to. I would argue that in essence it does. And I understand the triggers, right? Because it's like some of us are still struggling with our own parents and our own rearing. And we're like, well, that hit something in me. Like, my mother and father, they didn't do something right. So how am I supposed to? You know what I mean? But again, this verse, as you pointed out, it says I'm going to say in this particular version, it says one of wisdom and worth. And I'm not saying those who've been down and beat up by the system and not prepare their children as much as some would like aren't also valuable as well. I think sometimes even I don't know, it's a little complex, but I will say this. There is a time, I think, to set limits with your children. And that's what I get out of it. Because sometimes we hold on so much that we create. And sometimes we got to allow them to go and do their thing. My father, what do you say? Look, so, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to allow them, because we're so afraid. We got to allow them to learn. Some people, I got one son, he has to learn everything through his own experience. You follow what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. He got to learn everything through his own experience, and will fight you tooth and nail in the process. And then come back and say, oh, I get it. But when we're engaging in that process and still fighting and still going back and forth, in fact, you create more trauma. When you let them go out and learn on their own, perhaps there's some lessons that can be learned. But it says drive them away. Now, that's some strong language, but I understand. All right, look, all right, you can go out there and do your own little thing, bro.
My mind is going to a very different place with this when you were originally sharing it. But maybe can I read the part in this book?
Yes.
If your son strays and neglects your counsel and disobeys all that is said, with his mouth spouting evil speech, then punish him for all his talk. God will hate him who crosses you. His guilt was determined in the womb. He who God makes boatless cannot cross the water. So to me, this is very dark. It's very spiritual, and I'm kind of taking it literally. Mm-hmm. Going back to, there's so many things. I'm going to try to say it clearly. But to me, it doesn't sound like it starts with the parents. It sounds like sometimes a child has like a spirit that they're carrying, because it says his guilt was determined in the womb. And it even says that God makes people boatless, and therefore they're unable to cross the water. So to me, there's something spiritually happening. And, you know, the parent is like the vessel for the spirit, but sometimes the child that is incarnated is not. It's something else. Initially, when you read this, I was reminded of, I think it's in the book, Things Fall Apart. And it talks about how there are spirits born through women. And if the child, like, it's like a negative spirit though. And so I think that the woman often miscarries, and the child's not meant to survive. And the child eventually dies by a certain age, like 5 or something like that. But sometimes the spirit that's embodied in the child loves the family so much that it has a hard time letting go. It's a very traditional, like African idea around spirits and embodiment. But my mind does go there in that literal sense, because I do wonder, beyond our children, life, you know, we are vessels to the spirit. Like, there's spirit all around us. And sometimes what passes through us is not resonant with our spirit. I have a daughter too, and like, I think about that. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I feel like she is my kindred spirit. Like, she doesn't have to explain herself. I feel like I understand who she is, where she's coming from. But I know that's not the case for all parents and their children, and it's not necessarily, it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. But I'm wondering here about the spirit that passes through us, and what we experience as life is not all that there is. You know, there's like a spiritual aspect that we're not fully aware of.
I appreciate that. So I struggle with not looking at things on multiple realms at the same time. Because to me, spiritual language is just another way of interpreting it. It's language. Some people look at things through what they call a spiritual lens, and then you have somebody can be talking about the same phenomenon through a scientific lens, and then you have people can be talking through it from a therapeutic lens. So it's all these lenses. So to me, I think that the spirit is the language. Like one person will say, spirit, you have spirits in you. Someone else would say, you have a mental disorder. So to me, I don't get caught up too much on that, on interpretations. But I do think that is essential in 2025 that we look at it on multiple levels. And that book there is a little different than this particular book. And I think can become blinding. So that's why I say words can become confusion, but try to understand the heart or the essence of the thing. Because then we become dogmatic in it. And then some will treat these issues in very dogmatic ways. Mom Flicker?
I want to share what my experience has been with that passage, and that's concerning generational patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at my paternal grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
I see some of the same traits birthed in my father. So my question is, how do you steer? If you see a pattern in a child,
Mm-hmm.
and you see that pattern in previous generations, how do you steer them to be wise, as opposed to repeating that pattern that has existed in that family?
Mm-hmm.
Because that can be a clinical question, and it could be, spiritual. The church would say, it's a generational curse and all that other silliness. But
well, I mean, however you want to language it is fine. But however you do it, I think we should approach it with some level of openness.
yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily the language that is faulty. It's just that some of us are more dogmatic than others. And no matter what language that we're using, whether that's clinical, spiritual, to me, I all see it all as one and the same. That's why I also, I just think that one is the way that some people, like, to me, I can't disconnect the language. The language just is talking about the same phenomenon, but it's just different language being used. So as Dr. Wade Nobles will speak about the Seiku, the psyche, and that's, so African psychology. But then also I think it is essential to look at it from a historical standpoint as well, because this history is very different than the history that these people experienced. Not that there's no similarities, but there's differences, and there are people that do run right. Because I always say that you're not the only one raising your child. And your children are not being raised in a community that have the shared belief systems. In fact, you're dealing with TV, you're dealing with so many levels of influence that can, some people will say there's a spirit in the television that is actually, the child is picking up. It's just language. We use different languages to describe the same phenomenon. But I don't think that it's wise to look at it without really just looking at the core of it. Because looking at anything literally will become, there's no room. But go ahead, Brother Lowe's.
Oh,
I was about to go, but
no, go ahead, because I was trying to think.
You trying to figure it out?
Yeah, well, let me think. When I think about this, also, I think about almost like interesting hearing this. What I hear kind of in like the Bible as well, and like I guess the Old Testament in the Ten Commandments is honor thy mother and father.
Mhm.
I'm about to look it up to tell you exactly what it says, but yeah, and your days be long. So it kind of reminds me of that, but I also, if I'm not mistaken, in the Bible, it also says something along the lines of like don't provoke your children. You know what that one is, Baba? Don't provoke your children. Like, so basically, it's like discipline them with love, and don't discipline them with like anger and hurtful ways. You discipline them with love, then it will, I guess, the same thing as it said in the Old Testament, and they will be, their days will be long, or their days will be blessed. I don't know that. I'm not well versed in the Bible. Sorry about that, but I know I remember that my grandmother even sharing that stuff with me. I started to look it up. That's when you were talking. When I read it, I started to kind of look it up. But that's what it kind of also reminds me of. I used to work as a counselor at Charles Hickey School, and we had plenty of kids who were dealing with whether it was behavioral issues or psychological issues. Some of them, because they had been abused, or that was the way that they handled not discipline, but just handled life in general, then they welcomed like physical activity or harsh words and things like that, and you had to kind of like steer them out of that. Like, we had to practice like showing love, being a little more caring in our approach. And I mean, from experience, I noticed it worked. Like it kids would already have this thing, well, you can't touch me, I dare you to touch me. And it's like, people are like, well, they want you to touch them because they've been touched. You know what I mean? That's their norm. But we were taught to kind of like break the cycle, and I saw with my own eyes, it didn't work for everybody, but I did notice it helped. And I see some of those kids who are grown men now who have like come up to me like, oh, thank you, Mr. Harris, thank you for caring about me, nobody else really did, or and it kind of make you feel good, because it's like they'll be doing something that you be like, oh man, I gotta restrain this kid or take him down or whatever, but you just taught to approach it with a little more discipline, your self-discipline, and I think that's the only way you can kind of teach them discipline as well. So.
Right. I think to add on to that, to me again, even that love that you showed them, that love that they desired, that love that they needed, the love that they never felt that they had, and they tested you to see if you truly love them, all that is one way. But even in this, to me, there's love, because sometimes you do for the sake of your health, and that in their health, you have to allow them to go.
I deal with that personally with like, with somebody in my family, with my nephew. I was raising him, and he lost both his parents, my sister and his dad, and when he was 6 months. So with that, he had all sorts of animosity, and we brought him into our house and tried to give him what I was giving my kids as well. But he got to disrespecting my wife and doing all sorts of stuff, flooding the basement, doing all this, that, and other. So I was like, he was 17 at the time. Like, hey, bro, you gotta go, And I felt so bad, and like I actually shed a tear about him going back out and feeling like, because the way he acted, it was like he never really had his parents, so he was like searching for something. And but he went out, he ended up getting a GED or whatever. But he met a young lady a little older than him, And then I saw him. He came to my house. He came to my house maybe like 6 months ago, and he was like, Uncle Carlos, I just want to apologize to you. I don't know why I thought you was the enemy. He's like, but I realized that you all were just there to help me. And he's like, he was like, I thank you for setting me out on my way, and I found my way. And it's like, I was laughing because he used to be a junk food eater and all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, I don't eat meat now, and he looked really good. And I was like, yeah, just such a happy aura with him. And I was like, man, it made me feel good. I still felt bad even now, like letting him go. You know what I mean? But I saw positive results.
And I think it takes work for us because it's not easy to do that. It's not easy, and I don't think it has to stop with children. Even when you're in community, when in all your relationships, especially if you're in leadership positions, I think it's still applicable. Because what we try to do is we try to keep people there, and they're doing the most and the least. You know what I mean? And we're not serving ourselves. We're not even feeling respectful. We don't feel like respectful people when we when people, what does it say? If they're not following your example. So in other words, we can look at this very literal, like following your example, but the example is, what is the example? It's like a straight course.
Yeah.
It's so if they're not following the example, if people aren't following the example around you, sometimes we have empathy. We can have empathy, but sometimes we need to set strong limits. As I heard a brother say before, he said a cool brother he know. This is funny. I'll say it. So his brother was doing some workshops with Dr. Gregory, and he said, "Y'all think he cool? Y'all think he cool? Y'all think he always cool? You know what he told me one time? Not me. I'm talking about the brother. He's funny. I like the brother. He said, Dr. Gregory said, you can do that. You can do that, but you just can't do that here." Now, I asked Dr. Gregory what he said. That he never said he said that, but I still think it was a lesson because when the brother said it, I appreciate it. Yeah, you can do that, but you can't do that here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you was going to say it earlier, but I guess you just cut it off. Me, myself, I was a little hard head, you know what I'm saying, coming up. So I'm the last of 21 children, my father, right? So I'm like, I never wanted to be that little goody two shoes. I used to say that to myself. So I thought I was gonna leave the house. I left home. I ran away from home at 16. And my mother was crying and holding on and everything. And then my father looked at her and said, "Eva," that's my mother, "let that boy go." So he was like, let him go. If he think he know everything now, let him go. And that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because I stayed with the guys I wanted to stay with. We did crazy stuff. And about 2 months, 3 months, I was so tired. I was so tired of doing everything mischievously. You understand what I'm saying? That I ran away from them. I got up that morning and we didn't have cell phones, so I called my mother on the telephone booth, right? Y'all know what that is? And I called my mother, told her to come pick me up because I was really tired. But that was a good lesson for me. From that day on, I was straight. I found out what I had at home. I had a beautiful home. I had everything going on for me. And then I'm out here look like I don't belong to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that lesson for me was that my father knew the lesson already. So when I came back home, this is what he said to me. He said, "How you doing?" and I must say my father was an elder guy. So I got a lot of his wisdom because during that time, you see, my father got me, he was 74 years old. So I got that side of my father. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't saying when he was whatever he did then, but I got that side of my father. And I'm blessed for that.
Ashe. I was actually going to mention when Brother Lokes was speaking, I think that he was kind of in his own way showing the embodiment of like what that passage is actually saying. And I think also Baba Ausar, when you were speaking, your father kind of showed the embodiment of that, and like, okay, well, if it's not working, let them go, and you know, if they'll figure it out on their own to some extent. And you know, as I'm thinking about the teachings of Ptahhotep, it's like the oldest book in the world, and I'm just trying to also conceptualize it from a very modern lens to some extent, or even like a very current day lens, because we're in a very unique point in, you know, in Baltimore. I'd say, let's keep it local. Like, we're in a very unique point in history and in the world and the political climate and a variety of other things. And I was thinking about, because we're reading The Falsification of African Consciousness, how, you know, how does this play, and also the understanding that sometimes there's like a system or systems that are really not intended for us to succeed. Dr. Amos Wilson mentions the Black child at this very moment is still affected and suffering from the slave experience, whether he or she knows it or not. And I'll keep going. In fact, Russell Jacoby says in his book, Social Amnesia, exactly because the past is forgotten, the rules are unchanged to be transcendent. It must be remembered. Social amnesia is society's repression and remembrance. But like the part that like really kind of stands out to me is, as I'm thinking about things through, I guess, a very my specific lens also, like, children also need the proper systems around them for success. In many ways, like, the public school system fails them, and the ideas, you know, even circumscription, just thinking like they only have certain job careers, they only have certain pathways. And, you know, even like the social and economic things, like there's so many layers of obstacle that they have to navigate. I'm gonna close this thought with, like, there's times where students that I have will say, Mr. Fur, I want to leave early. And I say, I'd rather have you here because I know you're here. You know, if you leave, you may not come back, like, for real. I've had students not come back because they get in trouble or, you know, other things happen. So it's also hard for me to always think from the lens of the Book of Ptahhotep, because there's so much against them, and it's not just like a trip and fall, pick yourself up, figure it out. It could be more detrimental than that. And, you know, at what point do we practice the detachment?
Pardon. You waiting on me? Okay.
I just was closing my thought there.
Oh, okay. All right. I appreciate that, and you bringing it all together. I want to like step back. My sister, your name again? Sister Jasmine said something I think was also something profound to kind of, you know, and I'm looking at these two verses and the two different ones, and then they don't align completely. But one aspect that she spoke about is this idea that I think is also essential, whether or not you look at it from this lens that some will call spiritual or religious or what have you, or you look at it through any other lens. It says that how she articulated it was like, doesn't necessarily mean you did something wrong. You know, and And that's an interpretation that I agree with. That interpretation furthers it a bit. It separates a bit from the idea that one can say you were cursed in the womb or whatever. Like it's been like that, whatever, right? The idea, I think, the essence of it is that we sometimes take it on ourselves to think that we messed our children up. And hence we continue and continue and continue and continue and continue to almost kill ourselves. And I know people who have to try, and they're working so hard to save their child because somewhere in them they feel guilty. And the reality is, in essence, if you look at, as Sister Jasmine shared, it's bigger than that. It's not all about you, and it's hard for us to, because we feel like we messed up as parents. And that's why I always say that, it's more than two parents in these relationships, even. Whether it started neurologically, let's say it started in the womb. And let's say that your mother's experience in this world was very traumatic in this world or in the relationship she found herself in or whatever. That does shape you as a human being being developed in the womb. I'm saying on that level. So a child can come out totally wired a certain way. So it's all types of things, right? It's multiple lenses to look through, but the essence is what I'm saying here at the core is that sometimes we're so guilty we feel so guilty about things that we don't allow things to breathe. We feel so responsible that we feel like we have to make up. And we don't want other people to see how we failed our children, because our children's failures then become our failures. And everybody has, if you want to use the word failure or fail, if you choose to use that, but we all have life experience. You'll give your children, I guess to some degree, you'll give them accolades and feel responsible for their victories as well. But the reality is you might more easily give them their own accolades. I'm proud of you. But feel very responsible for their trials and tribulations. So again, I think seeing this in a way that says, you know what? It's not only I'm not 100% responsible, even if you want to go that far. I've done my part, especially if you did your best, especially as grown adult children who are holding on to things even because you did your best. That's a whole nother situation, but I think it all aligns and it's all connected. But with that, what time is it? Let's go into this next one here. Now, this is the Hussir. I like the Hussir's version. Again, if y'all find this, I don't know if I've seen it before, but maybe not. Maybe so. It says in section 7, it says, if you are a leader, see that the plans you make are carried out. Do great things which will be remembered long after you. I call that libation. Where there is praise, distraction cannot survive. But where those of ill will enter, like crocodiles, strife also comes. So if you are a leader, see that the plans you make are carried out. Do great things which will be remembered long after you. Let's deal with that part. And if you want to connect it, let's go to the second one. But again, where there's praise, distraction cannot survive.
I don't get that part. is praise,
Mm-hmm.
distraction. They say can't survive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that part because I can see people being distracted by praise because they being driven by their ego, and there are people that we know that feed off of that, and becomes very performative.
Mm.
So I don't know if I agree with that. First portion is spot on. Like, spot on.
Do you see how they connect at all? I'm asking that because I'm asking if you're grounded it contextually. Are you trying to ground it contextually?
I guess I can see how it can connect, depending on the personality of the individual who is the leader, who doesn't really look for the praise, but because they're being praised by many. I can use Martin Luther King, for example, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, some names that many people knew. They weren't really driven by their ego, but by their actions. And because of the praise they received, their reach was great. So many people kind of were exposed to their actions that were highly beneficial. This is why they're kind of like, in a sense, I like to say, kind of deified in our community, and they have become those precious gems that really can't be erased because of the change or social change that they were part of.
In the Book of Ptahhotep, is that 14?
Let's hear it.
Is that 14? I just want to verify.
I'm looking for myself.
Section. I think it might be. I'm gonna. Do you mind if I read it? Okay. If you are among people, then gain your supporters by building trust. The trusted man is one who does not speak the first thing that comes to mind, and he will become a leader. A man of means has a good name, and his face is bending. People will praise him even without the knowledge. On the other hand, those whose heart obeys his belly ask for contempt in his self. In the place of love, his heart is naked, his body is anointed, and the great-hearted of the gift of God, he who rules by the appetite belongs to the enemy. I don't know if that's the right part.
I feel like I saw it before, and actually the words with crocodile in it. But go ahead. I'm sorry. We can't hear you, Brother Los.
Is it number 5?
That's what I thought it was number 5.
The man who
sounds
leads
like we did it
controls.
before. We talked about it before. It sounds like it's number 5 a little bit.
You want to pick up on it, or I can?
If you're a man who leads, a man who controls the affairs of many, then seek the most perfect way of performing your responsibility so that your conduct will be blameless. Great is Mayat, truth, justice, and righteousness. It is everlasting. Mayat has been unchanged since the time of Ausar. To create obstacles to the following of the laws is to open the way to a condition of violence. The transgressor of laws is punished, although the greedy person overlooks this. Baseness may obtain riches, yet crime never lands its wares on the shore. In the end, only Mayat lasts. Man says, Mayat is my father's ground. I don't know.
I think that one, I mean, I might be going a little off, but is that the one that goes with be diligent as long as you live? Always doing more? No, that's not it. But yeah, I feel like I read this before, and I heard the crocodiles actually in here somewhere. But it's like the way they broke down the text, probably the pyramid text or whatever, they interpret it a bit different. And I do see the confusion here. I'm trying to say, so what could they possibly be saying? Because I think sometimes, like, again, what's the core of the message, not the literal words?
Do you mind repeating the section from?
If you are a leader, see that the plans you make are carried out. Do great things which will be remembered long after you. Where there is praise, distraction cannot survive. But where those of ill will enter, like crocodile, strife also comes.
So as I'm thinking about it in the context, to be a great leader, I mean, people don't lead in silos. Like I think you're leading a group of people, and if the group of people who you're leading are giving the affirmation to say that you're leading in the right way, I think a part of that distractions cannot survive is the accountability aspect. Like if the people who you're leading are affirming and saying, okay, well, you're doing what you have to do, there's an accountability aspect there. And I guess the other side of that coin would be, if you're not doing what you have to do, you will not have the praise.
Mm. You cooking?
That's my interpretation.
Okay. All right. You just drop it like that?
Oh, you said, am I cooking? A little seasoning, just a little.
Okay.
You know, Thanksgiving coming up.
Okay.
I have an interpretation to offer. I wrote it down. I think it's about protecting your purpose
Mhm.
and your legacy, which are oriented towards good and the divine. I think it's telling us to not let our ego or even our ties to our children, our relational ties, to get in the way of our work.
I'll break it down. Break it down. Could you do one extra thing? Could you tie that back to the verse?
So this is kind of like my rephrase of the verse,
Mhm.
but I see the two connected, the one that was shared before, because it was talking about your children, but this is now as a general leader. But in either case, as you are guiding others as a parent or as a leader, you have to stay grounded in your purpose. You have to stay aligned. I don't know how does it go? Divine alignment. But it's, the oath. What is the first or second?
Walking my out with balance, truth, and divine alignment.
Yes, I think it goes back to that you need to be grounded and aligned in truth, and with the divine, and that even your child should not get in the way of that. And your ego, so like looking at the second verse that was shared, is talking about like flattery. So that's why I said ego. So don't get caught up in your head or, what people are telling you. Stay grounded in what you are here to do. And I saw the words in the book. It talks about being like commissioned to do things, that we all have a purpose and we have to stay focused in that.
Thank you.
Okay. So I get a little this. If you're a leader and you're leading the people, right? And they say distraction should not what?
Cannot survive.
Cannot survive. I think if you're leading the people and you're really doing something well and y'all going well, the distraction from the other people saying that this group is not that or they are not doing this cannot live in that or should not live in that.
Say one more time, Bob.
Okay. So if you're leading somebody, right, you got a group of people you're leading, the people going this direction, and they are, let's say, doing fantastic things, in this case right here. The distraction on the outside, like somebody say, is talking against them or saying bad things against them should not survive. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? So the distraction will always come in and say, well, look, TNAT ain't doing nothing. They just down there gathering, you know what I'm saying? Although we are doing something at the same time, you know, semi, little something.
Okay.
There's also something that I don't want to pass over. It's that first part, and it kind of speaks to leading, but also like I forget the phrasing, but like work. Can we read the first part one more time?
If you are a leader, see that the plans you make are carried out. Do great things which will be remembered long after you.
That part. The doing great things that will be remembered long after you kind of speak to a level of discipline and execution that it's bigger than you. And then that also makes me think like, I think something was said previously around you can't have a single leader. You can't have a single leader. You have to create something that is bigger than you to really allow the groundwork for somebody else to pick it up. So it just speaks to a level of like execution in the first place. So then the second line coming with the distractions, I think it's already kind of set a tone for like the level of execution that has to happen in order to get the praise. So it's not just frivolous praise. It's not just praise because you're in front of something. It's praise because you've led in a way that it's going to be remembered past your past your time, and really for something bigger than you.
Okay, I think we're cooking. I think you know, let me see if I can. I mean, y'all, I appreciate this. This is, you know, bringing all these clues together, all these things together. So let's do it. Let me do it like this. So pardon y'all online who think that I'm going to use this example as a perfect opportunity. It's just too perfect an opportunity for me not to use it. I love all my people, whether I disagree with their, you know, some people need to be put on the leash, and that is figurative, y'all. That is figurative. Do not think of it literally. Mama Fluke said, "Oh, some people really need to be put on a leash." You say, "Yeah." Oh God. Well, don't take it back. But so if you are a leader, see that your plans that you make are carried out. Umar Johnson. Grab your mic. Grab your mic.
I was thinking of him, but I didn't want to say any names.
All right. So let's think about it. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I mean, y'all know my feelings already. I've been saying it before the thing didn't happen. But I just think it's a good example. So if you are a leader, see that the plans you make are carried out. So when you don't do that, no, let's keep going. Do great things that will be remembered after you. When you don't do that, well, when you do that, there's praise. When you do that, there's praise. But when you don't do that, distraction comes. Detraction comes. Is it distraction or detraction? Detraction. Sorry, y'all. My detraction.
Detraction.
Yes. Cannot survive. But where those of ill will enter, like crocodiles, strife also comes. And we have people that were all there for him that are now operating in bitterness and strife and contentment and all types of things. So if you do the thing and you do it in alignment with Mayat, and you're honest and open and truthful, you'll have, it's always, you know, some people that will hate, but we're talking about this bitterness, this strife wasn't there before. But because you didn't operate in the plans that you said you will carry out, people start to question things.
Mm. You know, when you read that the last time, I'm hearing detraction versus distraction,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes me interpret it slightly different.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it from a business perspective. So traction from a business perspective, I think is like, let's say you're starting a business and you have multiple clients or services that pay full price, that validate what you're doing. So like if you have a continuous effort and then you're able to reap the results that you're looking for, that's called traction. So detraction feels like a continuous pattern of not having the goal met, not distraction, which feels like losing track of what the goal is. And it almost is similar, but it speaks to a pattern of.
Let me throw your alley hoop a little bit so you can continue this process. Detraction, the act of damaging one's reputation by belittling, undermining, or speaking in a way that diminishes their character, credibility, or accomplishments.
Yeah, I appreciate that because that. So, yeah, you know, on one hand, there's trust, and trust is built by continuity of follow through. You say you're going to do something, you do it. That speaks to a level of
trust, absolutely,
getting it done. On the other hand, I guess it's detraction, which is the losing of that trust, and really almost, I would imagine, the expectation that you can't be trusted. And as a leader, I mean, that would be, I think that's a mar on a reputation, and I think it would be hard to reverse that. So I appreciate that because it kind of like lets me see it a little different.
Yeah, I had to in my mind say, hold up. That's always the word. I say, oh, you know, that word is not that I can see that says distraction. I had to say that word always confuses in the past. So let me look at it again and make sure I'm saying the right word. So it's detraction. Yeah, because
it's all good. We gonna get the bifocals Christmas. But we got you.
I think before that, but in essence, I still think it. You know, the way that you all were approaching it was still like similar.
The heart was there.
Yeah, the distraction, meaning that there was something going on, but yeah, definitely detracting from one's credibility.
And I was thinking about this proverb, couldn't remember it, so I looked it up. It said, "A leader's legacy and good deeds are what endure after death, not wealth or power."
Say that one more time, Alan, please.
A leader's legacy and good deeds are what endure after death, not wealth or power.
Okay, wealth and power. Okay, here's Virginia came in. I was like, what did he just say? Whack. Yeah, I love it, Baba. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. What kind of proverb is that? Okay. Yeah. So if you are a leader, see that the plans you make are carried out. I think it might make more sense to you now, Brother Parrish. Do great things which will be remembered long after you. Where there's praise, detraction cannot survive. But where those of ill will enter, like crocodiles, strife also comes. It's interesting. This if you're not carrying your plans out, there's perhaps there's some ill will going. You know, when those of ill will enter, like the crocodiles, strife also comes. That's it. All right, brother Los, you good over there?
Yeah.
Your mic. My mic sounds. Do you need it? You don't need it? You don't have nothing? All right. Let's go to the next one, y'all. And this will be our last one. I think this might be the one that goes with the one that you were speaking about, Brother Los. I'll say it nonetheless. If you are a leader, be courteous and listen carefully to the presentations of petitioners. Stop not their speech until they have poured out their heart and spoken that which they came to say. Those with grievances like to speak and have their petitions heard, but whoever stops a presentation raises the question of why does one having this power act in this manner? Not all, that's the part I had on the line some years ago. Not all that is asked for can be granted, but a fair hearing satisfies the heart. It's interesting. The parts I highlight at is where I'm struggling for real. What y'all got? Y'all want me to say it again? All right. Mama, okay, let me not mess with you, Jay. I'm gonna leave you alone. You know, I'm practicing the second line. I rise with discipline. Yes. You know that. If you are a leader, be courteous and listen carefully to the presentations of petitioners. Stop not their speech until they have poured out their heart and spoken that which they came to say. Those with grievances like to speak out and have their petitions heard, but whoever stops a presentation raises the question of why does one having this power act in this manner? Highlighted part. Not all that is asked for can be granted, but a fair hearing satisfies the heart. You said,
Sound like democracy.
Democracy? Okay.
Sounds like
if you're a leader, right, of the people, for the people, right? So the grievances that they have is something that they have that's not fulfilled to the community or anything. So if you're not going to listen to them, you can't solve the problem, for one thing, in the community. So you have to listen to what the people are saying because they are the one that's really living it. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a leader and don't even want to hurt nothing because I got this thing, this is the way it's going to go, that's not a good leader. You got to listen to the people. Therefore, you're supposed to be leading the people for a good reason, right? And so you must listen to the people or should listen to the people. But everything, what do you say, cannot be answered or should not be granted.
Yeah.
Right, because some fools will be asked for anything.
Not all that is asked for
Right.
can be granted.
Right.
That's, I had people like try to use this verse. I said, but not all. People, they're like, you told us. I said, but you missing one fundamental piece here. I've heard you ad nauseum. I'm sorry. Go ahead. But I'm sorry. I'm on it. So I guess I gotta say it. Like, well, okay. You're not hearing me. Well, no. I think there's a difference. I just don't agree with you. I hear you. I don't have to agree with you. That's the difference. But yeah. You got something there, Dick?
All I had was it sounds like a democracy. What this country should be.
This country.
Yeah, this country.
Y'all using strong should words up in here today.
I kind of lost my chain of thoughts.
Okay.
I hope it come back around, but it did have some.
It'll come back after Brother Luce drop this jewel. He about to this cipher right now. What's up, God? We trying to gather his thoughts.
I would like to tie it in with an earlier part because it kind of speaks to like leadership. So and I don't think there's anything wrong with a hierarchy in leadership. Everybody can sit at a round table, but I think at some point somebody has to lead. So there is some level of hierarchy. And then it also speaks to a level of like discontent with those who are being led. Like this part. So I wanted to bring it back to another section that says section 3. It says, if you meet a dispute in an action, who hold on,
Need your bifocals.
I wanted to make sure it was the right part, because this part is the equal, and I'm thinking about it in terms of like hierarchy. So I guess it would be the one below it. So if you meet a dispute in an action who is a poor man, this is section 4, who is not your equal, do not attack him because he is weak. Leave him alone. He will confound himself. Do not answer him, just so you can relieve your own heart. Do not vent yourself against your opponent. Wretched is he who injures a poor man. If you ignore him, listeners will wish to do what you want, and you beat him through their reproof. And I kind of wanted to mention that part because it's also kind of speaking to a level of discipline to allow someone to speak and air their grievances. And ultimately, you don't have to agree or grant their wishes. But in this way of being, I guess, is to allow them to air their grievances so they can feel like they have, it's not said like this, but their due process, their time to air their grievances, their time to express what's in their heart, and not to necessarily combat what their experience is. Which person I struggle with, but
what do you struggle with?
You know, shoot. Sometimes I disagree, and it's hard for me to sit in the thing.
With allowing others to express themselves?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. This is one. But that also speaks to the first part, which, you know, you can find wisdom with the maids at the grindstone.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you got to allow others to speak. Like you don't know everything, you know.
And I want to say, from our experience, many times I realize that there is something. What did I call it in my book? I can't remember the term that I'm writing the book, you all. So it's akin to a pedestalized victim, though. So I think there's two things. Like, one, I do think leadership. I don't know, something really powerful about sitting there and listening to people, and they disagree with you. Like, it's like, I mean, it's something like you learn to discipline yourself to listen and allow, and you learn. You learn. It's something really powerful about that. Like, you learn even in these sessions. Like, to me, it's best that even that I hear everybody's take on the thing. It even helps me formulate my take. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't always have to be the one with the answers and thoughts and things. You know what I mean? It's facilitation is really powerful, but it's also powerful to be able to comport yourself in a way when someone's making accusations, especially if you're an upright person, or you don't mean harm and all that type of thing. I don't think it's that difficult. Oh, again, what is it? What's the Njia line?
Let them be wrong about you.
Yes, let them be wrong about you, even if they're right. But if you think it's wrong in the moment, let them be wrong. You'll find out sometime later that perhaps they were right, or maybe they weren't. But it still doesn't matter, because people can be wrong. And we don't have to respond to people's wrongness reaction. What's the word, y'all? In a reactive manner. In fact, one of the things I learned in my training, moreover, and my students, I went through, some serious type of training when I was doing my internships and practicum and all that thing. Students now, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about y'all, but they don't want to listen to they don't want to critique one another. The first thing, when I went to school, the first thing they told me when I was signing up for the program, these classes are intense. They say, especially the clinical terms, these are small groups. You could have no more than like 6 people in these classes, and you look at the video, and you have to give your colleague feedback on their ability to what you saw in session in the 5-minute clip. But and that, to me, that was so powerful to be able to sit there and learn how to take people's feedback without being defensive. Because one, you learn, and then you learn to discipline yourself to like deal with it. People can be wrong, and they can be right. But even if they're wrong about you, you don't have to prove yourself that they're wrong. Let them be wrong. That's Njia. Let them be wrong. That's gonna be the hook on the song. Colors. Let them be wrong. Yeah, let them be wrong. It's very powerful, because then what happens? Let me not say it. When you let people be wrong, what do you do for yourself?
You free yourself from I want to get my words together. I want to say the thing. If you let someone be wrong about you, you disassociate yourself with whatever result they come up with. You allow yourself to like be detached from whatever it is that, it's almost like you put on the armor.
Mm-hmm. Bob, Mike first. Oh, somebody.
You don't let gossip rule you.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What a person say about you, so be it.
Or their thoughts.
That's your thought. That's your opinion. That don't make me.
And people gonna always have
opinions. Opinions are like, no, I'm not saying.
Yeah, everyone has one.
Right.
Yeah. And then you'll run yourself crazy trying to have people be right. But people are always going to be wrong about you. They're always going to form opinions. And when you walk in trying to have people accept you, you really start to contort yourself to come across as perfect. And I don't know what that is in that sense. Perfectibility is a thing, but perfection is just something in their eyes. And they'll have you doing things that you shouldn't be doing. I'm not gonna say shit like that, but it's like you'll be doing things to have people not think certain things about you. That is a level of bondage, self-bondage.
Yeah.
Free yourself by letting them be wrong or even right. But if you're doing the best that you can do, let them be right or wrong.
Be detached from the outcome.
What's the outcome?
Whatever it's going to be.
I don't even know if it's an outcome. I mean, it could be an outcome. Be detached from their thoughts and ideas.
Hey, I like where this is going, but we talking about income. Okay, all right.
Yeah, the income, right? But yeah, let them be wrong. All right, closing words, y'all. Anybody before we wrap this up and
I got a closing thought on that specific part. I wonder if, because I can only think from my own perspective, if most people see that as an active process or a passive process.
Say it one more time.
Letting someone be wrong about you, if most people interpret that as an active process or a passive process. I mean, maybe it's a both and, because I don't know. I guess I'm answering my own question.
How people interpret it?
Yeah, for me, if somebody is wrong, it's hard for me to sit in it. It's hard. So it's a very active process. And I think for other people, if somebody's wrong, they're like, whatever, I don't. So I guess it's a both and. Maybe I'm answering my own question.
I think it is both and. But I also think that the reality is most of us who struggle with people being wrong, we're struggling with what people never said to us. We're struggling with what people just think about us outside of this place because they saw us show up and they didn't say hi. I know I should have said this differently and I should have did this, or I was a little awkward. Yeah, you can be. We all can be awkward sometimes.
Ooh.
But they might have thought I was mean, all that.
Do I dare close this thought by saying we might struggle with what you actually feel about the internal, like if you believe it or not.
Say it for me one more time.
Maybe it's not that you're struggling with what they're saying. If you struggle with how you feel about what's going on with you.
Yeah, I think there's some essence, some truth in that. All right, closing words, takeaways, family, anybody? You can go out here.
For me, I'm walking away with the idea that we're not responsible for where people land. And going back to this idea of satisfying people's hearts, it's not our job to satisfy people's hearts. That verse that you shared, we do our part by doing our best and hearing out people. But the example you shared with your student where that still wasn't satisfying to them, that's beyond our control. And so we did our part and we had to accept that.
Ashe. Yeah. All right. Family. All right, we'll close.
Yeah. I think this was a insightful and wonderful circle. We want to close off as we always do with 7 Harambe's. If we can stand and put our black fists in the air. With this power, I'm going to bring it down for Harambe. It's going to be 7 times. And finish off with a elongated Harambe. Harambe, 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 Harambe.
The way he was talking, man, I want to hear it.
Am I just another lost in the pack? We all shack shit, laugh it off. The years just blow by. My eyes stay fixed, but the picture's kinda out of focus. I try a lot, but admit to it. Enjoying life now, but I've been through it. Sometimes I wish that I can go back. No bills, no kids, just getting told back. I want a wife. I love women. How could I front like I don't be in love with them? A little man that I could teach. A little sand, but not the beach. I figure excess, I only bring an excessive amount of fuss. So when I'm gone, make sure the headstone reads, he did it for us. I'm like a modern day Jesus. I cherish warm thoughts like a gray goose and float soft kisses to my baby. That day's little girl. Yeah, respect for that. She gon' be somebody instead of somebody, baby mama. You see young minds are now made of armor. I'm trying to pop a hole in your Yankee cap. Absorb me. The skies over your head ain't safe no more. And hip-hop ain't your home. And if it is, you fucking up the crib, son. You make life look like I don't want to live one. You might as well hold your breath until you die in the corner somewhere, bent over in the crevice. This God theory overcomes the worst of weathers. As long as you're willing to try, you want a good start, homie.